Okay. And I will share my screen. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the method section. It's the one section that you all work together on, and you can submit within your own paper as part of your own work. So it should be the same. If your method section is different from one person to another, that's kind of like defeats the purpose, but that's up to you. Xenia, you submitted the method section for your group. And so I'm going to quickly go over this. I'm recording it. So later on, if you need to go back, it's just going to be 10 minutes. If you need to go back to say, what was he talking about there, that you can go back and look at it and fix it. Sound good, everybody? All right. So I'm going to do a quick review of what I see. Okay. So right off the top, what I see is good APA format in terms of first level headings, second level headings. I see that the margins are good on the sides. I do not see, so you haven't yet integrated this into your paper. So I don't see the running heads and page numbers yet. But one thing to be careful of when you do that, make sure that the fonts are the same for your running heads and page numbers as they are for the rest of the paper. That's a common mistake. I just had another group that literally had 3 different fonts working in their paper. That's it. Yeah, don't do it, right? It just shows a lack of precision in what you're doing, and writing research papers are very precise. Okay, so let's take a look at your content here. The participants that took place in the study were research methods from Mansfield University. Might want to the university, capitalize that. They're from sections research methods 2. Good, I like it so far. Okay, here's a big one. There's no personal pronouns in research papers. Everything is objective, third person, and distant. So no we's, ours, nothing possessive and personal. It's all like, let me say, instead of telling you what not to do, let me tell you what to do. So in this study, information about participants' parents' education history was gathered to see if it participants were asked instead of we asked. So you take yourself, if you want to insert yourself, what you do is you talk about yourself in the third person. You say the researchers gathered, right? Does that make sense? Okay, so everything becomes, and that's part of that objective. We looked at differences of writing early in this class, and all of our writing is distant, third person, and objective, right? We never insert ourselves in the process because that makes it more subjective. It adds kind of a level of person that we don't want in these studies. We want them a little colder, right? Which is the nature of objective work. Okay. So other than that kind of picky little detail, which is good for you to know, this is excellent. Okay, it's the best one that I've seen for on the participant section. Okay, materials section, much more here. Okay, so materials should look like a list, you all, so that if you go to your example that I gave you of a method section, right? So I gave you a student example of method section. It's a list. It says they use this item, then this item, then this item, then this item. It's really only a little bit different from the ingredients portion. Like if you take your recipe from the back of the brownie box that says eggs, butter, salt, flour, you're doing, there should be a list, right? Google Forms, survey. I think you guys used all your own items, right? You didn't come up with right? So you would really just have 2 materials in this section. One would be a description of what Google Forms is, right? You'd say Google Forms, period, this third level heading, and then you start writing a little bit about what Google Forms is and what it allows you to do. And then it is your survey, I don't know what the name of your survey is. It's probably something like um, survey of antisocial behavior and childhood trauma. That would be the title. And then it's an unpublished survey. You all are the authors of it, so it would be cited that way. And then whatever, it's a 25 item survey that included items on this many items on this question, this many items in this question. You may have an example or two. All right, that's it, right? That's it. So, okay, so what this whole business right here can go, right? Because the material section is a what. What did you use? The procedure section is how did you do it, right? So this is all what. What is Google Forms survey? That's it. Describe them. Then take what you did. All right, there's the hour. For the research procedure, a demographic, the survey was completed. Participants took approximately this many minutes to complete using the D2L link. This is pretty good. Okay, analysis is a separate section. All right, so after we collected the data, okay, so I would get rid of this right here. I would get rid of that. Start with an independent samples t-test was used to analyze data. Descriptive analyses, means, and percentages were used to analyze demographic information, right? But that's a separate, analysis is a separate section. Create a second level heading called analysis and put this stuff underneath it. Okay. Let's take a look at your references. Okay, there's no updated references, so I can't say anything about that. Your updated references should include reference to an unpublished survey with you all as the authors. Okay, go to Purdue OWL and look up unpublished research manuscript or unpublished survey document or questionnaire. And if you're not sure, come back to me later, but it's not complicated. Okay, it'll just have your names, it'll have the name of the survey, and it'll probably just have the year or something like that. Okay, you also need to create an appendix section in which your survey is included. Just get a screenshot. Like here's Caitlin Young's, like she's got her references set up, and then in the appendix, even though that's a different font, I hate that, right? These should be the same, and this should be over here, but her survey is attached to the end as an appendix, which just means you're attaching it to the end. Make sense? Okay, everybody. So I have just hit you with a strong 10 minutes, plenty of feedback, not that much for you to do. Some stuff you've done super well. So you just need to clean that up and then drop it into your papers once you have it nice and cleaned up. Any questions before I cut you loose? Okay, I will stop my recording.